Hey guys, Toolman Tim here. Today we're going to take a look at the Soliom wireless solar security camera, and we're going to answer the question, do these wireless solar security cameras actually work? So this is the third brand of these wireless security cameras I've used. I've been using two other brands for almost a year now, and this one is a little bit heavier duty, so we're going to take a look at this today. The model number for it is S600W10X. At the moment, it's $229 on Amazon with a $20 off coupon, but we all know that changes all the time. So the first thing that I've loved about all of these security cameras I've used is they have an actual optical zoom. 10 times, so it can zoom in 10 times using a physical lens in there. Be careful when you're picking these up. Look for optical zoom, not digital zoom. It has pan, tilt, and zoom, which means it can go up and down, back and forth, and in and out, which is a feature that I've absolutely loved with all my security cameras so far. It's got a built-in 15,000 milliamp hour battery, which is actually in the solar panel, which makes a bit of a different setup than any of the other ones I've used before. The solar panel itself is 8 watts, which is more than sufficient to keep the internal battery charged up. It's also got motion tracking and human tracking built into the software. So you see, when I did the unboxing, you really just get the camera, the wire, and the solar panel. This one doesn't have a removable bracket, so you just screw the 4 screws right to whatever you're mounting it to. Another thing that I've loved about these wireless solar cameras so far is the two-way communications. So I can actually speak through and have the person on the other end speak back with me. So one other thing that almost all these solar cameras come with is the built-in ability to use whatever company you bought this from's cloud storage. Now, I prefer using an SD card. I ordered one, but it hasn't shown up yet. So we're going to set this up on the cloud storage, then we're going to move over to an SD card. But what I found is about 128 gig SD card has been sufficient for all the storage that I need. So it's got 6 infrared lights and 6 spotlights that you can use to help increase the nighttime visibility. Now, I don't like the spotlights because it literally puts a spotlight on the camera, and the ne'er-do-well who might be trying to attempt to get over your fence or whatever is going to instantly know, hey, that's there. If you followed my channel for any length of time, you know I'm a big fan of IP ratings. If you don't know what IP ratings are, that's okay. They're an independent third party that verifies claims or gives a rating for dust intrusion and water intrusion. Companies send away to them and say, hey, do the testing. This has a rating of 6 for water intrusion, which means it survived the test of 360 degrees in 3 dimensions, spraying water jets for 10 minutes all the way around with no water intrusion. One thing about this design that makes it a little more compact is the solar panel mounts directly on top of the camera. The downside to that is you're not able to take the solar panel and move it further away if you can't get solar access where you want your camera. So we're going to test that out. We'll see how well that works as well. So for now, we're going to attempt to mount it right here, and it has pretty decent solar exposure for at least the summertime. We'll see how it holds up. Let's screw it on. We'll get started. If you can see, we'll be right here. But what I like about this is, especially in the wintertime, I'll be able to see my front porch and down the street just a little bit. But this fills in another blind spot that I've had from before. So next, we mount the solar panel and we'll see how that goes. Like this. We'll go, so that gives us full solar view. I think I might have to trim one little branch right there, but it's not the end of the world. Now we got the wire right here. We plug that in to this guy, and it has a waterproof connection on the bottom. Hear my doggy saying hello. The big thing is on the back right here, because the solar panel has the power, the on-off switch for the camera is actually up here. So you reach in behind. One thing I'm not keen on, but it is what it is the little rubber waterproof gasket isn't connected. There's no little lanyard holding it on, so be careful. It's probably why they sent you extra ones in the box. Camera's now on. Put the weatherproof cap.
Camera is now ready to begin pairing.
Okay, we're good. So we're going to add a couple little tiny screws to finalize the mount of the solar panel. Try to do this without dropping them. Yeah, Tim, that'll be a good idea. Must be why they send you 8 of them, because you only need 2.
The camera is now ready to begin pairing.
Thank you, lady. I'm good with that. So they tighten in quite nice. And if you ever need to top up the battery, say you live in a really dark area, right under here is the USB-C port. You can come by with a battery pack, plug that in for a couple hours, and Bob's your uncle. This right here is fairly easy to move. If you want to tighten it down, there's some Allen keys back here. I don't really want to. I'm going to keep an eye on it to make sure that the wind doesn't blow it and carry on. One of the biggest benefits to these cameras is they are truly wireless, which means unlike my other 4 cameras that I set up years ago on my exterior of the siding of the house, you don't need to drill holes, you don't need to run wires, there's nothing somebody can grab a hold of and cut. You just put it up there, connect it to the Wi-Fi, and it works. Something that I found with all of these is go in and play with the settings and figure out what the bare minimum you need is. Because one of the biggest problems I found with these batteries is if you set it up to be triggering all the time, or if it's on a busy street and you don't exclude that street part, you're going to be draining the battery pretty quickly. But even on the one at the daycare that I've been using for a year now, on the busiest street, only once did the battery get really low. I let it go for a couple of days and the sun charged it right back up. So the Soliom security camera, what did I like about it? Because I've had some other Amazon generic solar cameras and they work great. And as far as the question goes, are solar cameras worth it? A resounding yes. I've been using some for a year now, 2 winters. Canadian prairies, they've worked awesome. I love them. The benefits of this guy right here, the 3 that I found immediately. Number 1, I have never had a wireless camera set up so quick using the native app. The other ones that I've used have been a bit of a pain in the butt. I've had to reset them multiple times in order to get them to pair. This thing was done in about a minute. You'll see the screen captures for that. Love it. Number 2, has a larger battery. All the other ones that I've used have had 10,000 milliamp hour battery. This has a 15,000 milliamp hour battery. Also, it has about twice the size of a solar panel, which means it's going to charge faster or bring in more sun on those not so sunny days. The one big drawback that I wish they would change on this, the solar panel itself is made to mount to the top of the security camera. That's okay if you want a real compact design, but it doesn't come with a separate mounting bracket. So what that means is you're very limited in where you put your camera and where your solar panel is. And the other problem that I've run into with that is the solar panel itself tends to get in the way of the Wi-Fi antennas. So I would love the ability to be able to run, say, a 20-foot USB-C cable and run the solar panel away from the camera so that I have more options as to where I place it to get the ideal amount of energy. Also, with that bigger battery, bigger solar panel mounted right to the top of the camera, that definitely puts more stress on the camera itself. One more benefit that this has over all the other ones is the 10 times optical zoom. Now, all the other ones have this 8 times blended zoom, which basically means 4 times optical and 4 times digital. So this is going to give you 2.5 times the optical zoom, a much clearer picture from further away. So if you guys stuck around this long, that means I made this video just for you. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button because I got a ton of content just like this. And if you're still not convinced of the beauty of solar wireless security cameras, check out this video I did right here of the first set that I set up that I'm still using to this day. And guys, as always, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great week.